Hey everyone, today I am going to be doing a recap of the month of my sales from reselling. So kind of what sold video. We're going to go through a couple of different categories of some of my highlights, some of my lowlights, and just kind of see where I'm at in total for this past month. Let me start out by saying that I made my initial goal of $1,000 of profit, but I did not make my second goal that I had thought of making for myself of, was it 2,000? No, it was $1,500. So I'm kind of like right in between my two goals. So not super mad at it, but I would really like to eventually hit that secondary goal. But that's okay. That is fine. We are still making progress. We still went above the first one, which I am very happy about. My total profit that I made this past month was $1,211.12. So I would say that was pretty good. So I am proud of myself for that, especially since there were definitely some times where my listing fell off. I've definitely had some busy days where I just didn't have the time or the mental capacity to devote to this side hustle. I need to figure out how I can be consistent even when life is just not. I also sold a total of 40 items this past month, which I believe is a little bit more than last month. Let me actually look. I'm looking at my spreadsheet here. Yeah, just a couple of items more than last month. And my ASP, average sale price, was $36.76. I made a couple of quick flips, and for me, a quick flip is within a week. I know technically quick flip would probably be like 30, 60, 90 days is great, but just for the sake of this video, for the sake of me knowing what is selling super fast, I use 1 week period of time. So I have a couple of those, and then I also have some higher dollar sales, so sales that sold for $50 and above, and then I also have some low dollar sales, which actually weren't that many compared to previous months as far as dollar amount. But first, I want to go over one of the exciting things, which are my highest dollar sales this past month. So we're gonna start with 50, the lowest of the 50 plus dollar sales. And let me find it here. Okay, so this was a Pendleton skirt. I feel like Pendleton for me can be very hit or miss, and so I am trying to play with it and see what from that brand does sell well. I definitely think plaid, like it's gonna have to be plaid, and I think it has to be more of a substantial piece. So this was a Pendleton skirt, and it was like a longer skirt. Like I don't think it was a maxi, but it might have been either like, might have been like a midi skirt or something like that. Anyway, it was like a really beautiful blue plaid, and it was wool. I think most Pendleton is wool, or at least the ones that I have found. It was a size 16, but I think this was a vintage one, so just sizing can, you know, vary with vintage items. This was a $50 sale on eBay. It was an offer that I accepted. I believe it was like a 35% off offer, and I was still very happy with the $50, and I think I ended up making, let's see, and so my end profit was $38.80. So really happy with this. I don't know if I would pick up another skirt from Pendleton, maybe now that I've sold this one, but I definitely had been passing them up whenever I saw them because this one was still sitting, but it has finally sold. My next sale was also on eBay. It was a long coat, and this one sold for $65. I believe the brand was Jason Gibbs, I think, and this was a wool, again wool, kind of like trench. I don't know, it was quite long, and I think this was a men's coat, I think. Hopefully it was a men's coat because that's how I had it labeled. But anyway, the person messaged me, I think they're from Canada, so it was like an international sale on eBay, and They were so kind and so nice, but they messaged me asking if I would accept a lower offer. I think they were countering or asking to counter, and I didn't have counters turned on for that item for some reason. But anyway, they had asked if I would take a lower price, and because they had asked like Canadian price, but I was thinking US price. So there was a little bit of a miscommunication there, but it was totally fine. We worked it out. They were very, very nice, and I accepted the offer. I was happy to move this item out because it is a bulkier item, and yeah, I want these things to go to good homes. I ended up profiting $55.40 from this, and like I said, I was really happy for that sale. Next is a $75 sale that I made, and this one was a pair of UGG boots. Okay, I had to double check my spreadsheet because I actually have a pair of UGG boots that somebody possibly may return. I think their return window ends today, so I haven't seen any tracking or anything yet, so we'll see if it still gets returned or not. But they were a pair of Uggs, but not the ones I'm about to talk about, thankfully. So these pair of Uggs sold for $75. They are the UGG Australia Bailey button. These were a size 7, and I'm trying to think, I feel like these, I had the box for them, but I don't think they were brand new, but they were like new condition. Like, I don't even know if somebody actually wore them. These sold for an offer. I accepted the offer on eBay. Again, another eBay one. So we're getting some really good eBay sales here. eBay must be like the big ticket platform, big ticket sale platform. But yeah, and I ended up making $63.09 off of those, so super exciting sale. They were really nice. I actually would have kept them if they were my size, but they were not, so they went to another happy home. I'm sure the person who bought them will absolutely love them. Next sale was for $84.98. So I think this one might have been on eBay as well, because this is like a weird dollar amount. Yeah, this one was also from eBay, and this one was interesting. This was a men's blazer, and this is by the brand Daniel Hetcher. I've never heard of this brand before. I found a couple of them and they just seemed like good quality. I really don't like selling men's like sport coat blazers because I just don't know anything about them, and they're not that interesting for me to list. It was like a velvet, and it had like some detail to it, and it was really nice. It was a size 50L, and yeah, I think this was an offer. I think I sent out this offer and they accepted it, and so I made $67.66 off of this blazer. So I can't write these items off. I still have to be aware that these are good pickups, but I struggle with them a little bit. So, but this is telling me I need to pay attention to them a little more. One more, I believe, high dollar sale that sold for $120. And this is very interesting because none of my high dollar sales were from Poshmark this past month, which I thought Poshmark would do better because they lowered their shipping cost. But to be honest, like, I don't think that made that big of a difference in my personal sales on Poshmark. Maybe it did for other people, but it didn't for me. So anyway, this was a Ralph Lauren jacket. It was, I believe this was vintage. I'm not sure 100% if I labeled it as vintage or not. Very, very unique piece from Ralph Lauren, and yeah, it was gorgeous. It was really cool. And this was a size small. It was a very bright red, and I think I may have gotten this like in a mystery bag or something, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know, something like that. I had listed this very high, and I had gotten a ton of attention on this item. Sorry if you can hear Luna woofing in the background. I got a ton of attention on this item, specifically on Depop, which is not a huge platform for me. I definitely list everything there, but I don't see very many sales there. So this was liked nonstop over there. I received so many offers. I sent out so many offers. I accepted everyone's offer, and yeah, they all ghosted me until this one person who I sent them, did I send them this offer? No, they countered my offer. and it sold for $120. I was so happy to see that this one actually went through. Oh, so happy with this one. And I ended up making $115.19. So amazing sale. I have to say that was definitely my highlight of the month. My bad buys, they weren't as bad this month, but I don't know if that was just people just didn't like them at all, so they didn't sell, period, or what. That probably was actually more accurate, but we're gonna make myself feel better and just say that they weren't as bad as last time. Okay, so we are gonna start with the worst sale, which was $5.50. And if you've seen my other videos, you usually know that my bad buys are from eBay, typically because I do like $5 start auctions on eBay, and typically they sell for the very first starting bid. So this one I think got bid up to $5.50. This is a black Free People Movement, very stretchy top, and I thought it was cute, but it is a size extra small, so I think that really hurt it. This didn't get like attention at all like the entire time that I basically had it listed, and I've sent so many offers and whatever, and it finally sold on an eBay auction for $5.50, and I made $3.11 on it. So yeah, that was not a great pickup. Moving on, we have a $10 sale, which I believe was also an eBay auction, and this one I actually started my bid higher. Maybe I shouldn't have, but like the like, what is it called, suggestion box said to list it for higher, so I did. So it sold for $10, which again was the initial starting bid of $10. This was a vintage, I believe vintage, Jacqueline Farrar cream and pink, I believe, plaid blazer. Very fun piece. I thought it was very unique and cute, but yeah, it definitely never got any interest until this one bid. I hope this person really likes it though. It is a size 12, but again, I believe it's vintage, so sizing kind of varies there. And I ended up making a profit of $6.67. Better than the other one. We like doubled how much we made. So, I mean, still not a great sale. It's definitely still not a great sale, but there's that. Okay, and then I think we have two $15 sales. This one I'm actually very disappointed in, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. This is an LL Bean like sweatshirt pullover. I think it had like a zip, yeah, like a half quarter zip or something. It had like different colors and it had like different textures on it. It was actually very nice. I purchased this is why I'm disappointed. I purchased this from Plato's, and if I purchase something from Plato's, it typically means I paid up for it, which I don't do often. I don't really like to pay up for items because then I feel like when things don't sell well, I just take a loss. It's a size medium. I would have kept this honestly if it didn't sell. I think originally I was thinking of keeping it, but I tried it on and the colors just didn't look great on me, so that's why I ended up listing it. It is what it is. It sold for $15 and I didn't really make anything from it. Yeah, there's that sale. That was a very disappointing sale, even though it sold for $15, which is more than the other two. My cost of goods of that one was quite high, quite a bit higher, and I really thought that one would sell for more. I really thought it was a neat piece, but nobody else did. Last dud is from an Oscar de la Renta sport coat blazer, men's piece, and this was size 52. I thought it was a very classic. Like I said, I struggle with these men's sport coats. This one sold on Poshmark for $15. I'm trying to remember if this was an offer somebody sent me or if this happened to be in my silent show that I usually list things really low when I'm about to get rid of them. I thought it would do better, but clearly Oscar de la Renta actually, unless it's their like specific, I think it's like a white label, I don't think I'm gonna be picking it up anymore. Definitely a flop. So I had one really good men's blazer, selling my top dollars, and I had one flop men's blazer that sold for 15. So clearly I need to figure that out a little bit more, maybe do a little more research in that category. I still have my quick flips to talk about. I almost thought I was done, I'm not. We only have 2, which is fine. They also sold near the end of the month. The first one sold in 7 days, so it took exactly a week to sell, and it was this pair of flax pants. And these were like a corduroy kind of pant, I believe, and they were a stretchy pull-on waistband. And these I really struggled to find comps of the exact item for, so I really didn't know how to list this item as far as like pricing goes. So yeah, they were a size large, and I listed them, I believe, for $50, and I received a $42 offer on Poshmark, which was a really great offer, so I was very grateful for that. I accepted it, and I made $33.60 for those pants. I never find this brand, so that was really exciting, and it was really exciting to see that it flipped so quickly too. So if I ever happen to come across it again, I'll pick it up. The only other quick flip I had sold within 1 day. So we had a 1-week sale and a 1-day sale. And the 1-day sale was a pair of Smartwool men's base layer leggings, I guess. And these were a gray color, and they sold super quick. They were a size medium. The comps were kind of a little all over the place for this, so I wasn't exactly sure what to list it for. I think I may have listed it for like $45, and I sent out a 15% off offer to a watcher on eBay, and they sold. So they sold for $38.24, and I made $31.42. So that was a good quick flip. I was very, very happy with that. I also have another pair of Smartwool leggings. They were black, and they just had a little more lint on them, so I needed to take some more time before photographing and listing them. But I have, as of now, I have photographed them, but I haven't listed them yet, so I need to get them listed because clearly those are a good seller. Unless this one's a fluke, but I feel like they're probably a good seller, so I need to get that listed. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I hope that this information was helpful, informative, maybe fun, interesting to hear about. I do know that when I'm filming these videos, I'm preparing for these videos, it's extremely helpful and informational for me to kind of look back on this data and to kind of just remind myself about some of these things so that I know what to do going forward. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful and beautiful rest of your day, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Take care, everyone. Bye.